हे गाइस, वेलकम टू जुडिशरी गोल्ड। मेरा नाम है चिन्मय पांडे। तो कैसे हैं आप लोग? सो फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम वी हैव बीन फेसिंग दिस इशू। जो जुडिशियल सर्विसेज एस्पिरेंट हैं, उनके सामने एक बहुत बड़ा डिलेमा निकल के आ चुका है दैट मिनिमम ईयर्स ऑफ प्रैक्टिस मोस्ट प्रोबेबली ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट इंडिया में इंप्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं, जिसके कारण जो बहुत सारे ऐसे फ्रेश लॉ ग्रेजुएट्स हैं, उनका जीवन थोड़ा संकटमय हो चुका है। एंड टू cater these all questions, we are here today with a very renowned advocate, Mr. Vivek Chaudhary, sir. He's an accomplished advocate, internationally accredited mediator, negotiator, and arbitrator with an expertise in digital dispute resolution with over 10 years of rich legal experience in trial advocacy and across several forums of law, and currently serves as managing associate at esteemed Chaudhary Law Associates Bhopal. He's a graduate of NLIU Bhopal, and Mr. Chaudhary has represented clients at Supreme Court, High Courts of Madhya Pradesh, NJT, NCLT, TDSET, and several other top forums. And he's here today with us to guide us all. And the session will be moderated by Ms. Priyanka Dhilla. She is the center head of Judiciary Gold Chandigarh, and soon we are going to start our Chandigarh Judiciary Gold offline center, where we will be catering the students who are going to target Delhi Judicial Services, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Uttarakhand, and other several states. So, welcome, sir, to this session, and welcome, Priyanka. So, Priyanka, over to you. You can proceed with the session.
Thank you so much, Chinmay. So thank you very much, Vivek sir, for being here with us. And it's a very pertinent question that we've been trying to get a hold of. So firstly, I'd like to ask you if you could please guide us with the historical genesis of the 3-year practice rule, as well as if you could tell us a little bit about what were the policy objectives of the Law Commission and the High Court when they spoke about the 3-year mandatory rule for judges in our country.
So basically, thank you very much, Tanmay, Chinmay, sorry, and Priyanka for the warm introduction. Now you have to understand that the historical relevance as far as judiciary is concerned is only for studying the relevance at that particular time. Now, often it is seen that when we are sitting in a semester or trimester system in law schools, the history is traced and a lot of time is invested in tracing the history, whereas the implications of it is not seen, and the circumstances which develop those particular judgments or those particular things is not seen. So here I would distinguish this part. The colonial era debates, especially the Civil Justice Committee in 1920s, they rooted this 3-year practice rule. And there are various, Law Commission reports, 116th, 117th, which mentioned it. Then the same was upheld in All India Judicial, I think All India Judges Association case in 91. And it was struck down in 2002. Now, you see, when the national law schools came up in 1989 from Bangalore, and Mr. Menon was there to advocate this issue. 5 years plus 3 years. At that time, it was becoming a too long period, because iske pehle, if you see all the lawyers who had come up, they had come up from the 3-year education system. So, प्रैक्टिकली 3 को जब आप 8 कर रहे हो तो वो बहुत बड़ा स्पैन हो रहा था. सो एक तरीके से इसको कट ऑफ किया गया वहां पे, बिकॉज ऑल दीज द अप्रेंटिसशिप, द एक्सपीरियंस दैट यू गेन, द स्किल्स दैट यू डेवलप, द ह्यूमिलिटी दैट यू डेवलप विद अ सीनियर, द रिसर्च पार्ट व्हाट यू सी, द प्रैक्टिकल aspects of the practice that you see, all this was already incorporated in the internship system. So every semester would have, or every trimester at the end of it, you'll have. So when the 5-year law system was introduced, this system started to fade away for some duration. So historically, if you see the relevance, yes, it was there because it was the need of the hour. And it is not just in India that you see this. Even if you see the in England, जहाँ से हमने adopt किया है, or you go to US, where the rule-based society is there. We are a principle-based country. US is rule-based country. So we are right now discussing things from a very superficial level. We're not going into the details. We're sitting with law students, law graduates, who are aspiring to see themselves in judiciary. So मोटे मोटे अगर चीजों को समझा जाए तो जिस समय इसको इंट्रोड्यूस किया था उस समय उसकी रेलेवेंस थी. एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट लेके आए आप 5 ईयर लॉ कोर्स के साथ, नेशनल लॉ स्कूल्स के साथ, IITs ऑफ लॉ के साथ. एक्सपेरिमेंट्स वर डन, दे आर सक्सेसफुल. जिस तरीके से 91 का ग्लोबलाइजेशन हुआ है उसमें nationalites have played a very good role advising the corporates, banks, commercials, companies. You see all of our seniors across all the nationalites, not just NLIU Bhopal. You cannot rank any, as far as the seniors they are concerned, any law school. They're at the pinnacle of every industry right now. So it was the need of the hour, and it's been well served. I hope I have answered your question in a practical way, because
Yes, absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, so in your view, ये जो 3 साल की practice है, does it strike a right balance between ensuring experience, bench strength, and keeping the judiciary accessible to fresh graduates?
I'm sorry, I didn't get you because
So I'd like to repeat the question. ये जो 3 साल की practice है,
Right.
do you think that will ensure that a person after the 3-year practice, will that person be a better judge? Or do you think that it will take away from the fresh talent that we'll get at 21 years of age? Because till, I guess, the
So there are
1997,
two views. And listen,
right,
Prem,
sir.
I have my personal experience. My father, he became a judge when he was 21. 1972, he was the first person from his district, Mr. Vijay Kumar Chaudhary, who is the
Right.
current co-chairman. He's been the chairman for very long. He's been in the State Bar Council of Madhya Pradesh for almost 25 years.
Wow.
And he got selected in 1972. He was there with the judiciary till 1979, and he took voluntary retirement to practice. And during his tenure, he had cleared the national clearance test with a record of 600% disposal per day. 6 cases, 6
that's
contested cases
amazing.
disposal per day.
Yeah.
So, and in various districts which I go to, भोपाल के आसपास जहां इनकी पोस्टिंग हुई थी, कुक्षी, Barasi and all, there are certain advocates who remember him as a judge. और उनका कहना था that we were left with no briefs when he was there as a judge because he disposed everything. So yes, this argument that the fresh graduates, they might just miss upon it. But क्या होता है कि when you have to serve the larger purpose, when you look at the bigger society as a whole, uniformity, आज हम uniformity की बात कर रहे हैं, uniform civil code की बात कर रहे हैं. You have to see what the atmos is going around. The atmos is pointing about uniformity, uniform civil code throughout the country. Be it tax laws, finance, जो हमारे backbone होता है किसी भी चीज का. Be it finance, be it family laws, be it right of women to an opportunity of working, be it in the other privileged classes, their right and opportunities. So we're talking about uniformity everywhere. So when you talk about uniformity, these individual interests have to be go away. You know, they have to be parted with. So ठीक है, मेरे बैच में 1-2 लोग टैलेंटेड होंगे, बट मुझे पूरे बैच से मतलब है. अगर 10 लोग बैठ रहे हैं जुडिशरी में तो उन पे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है सोसाइटी की. एंड advocacy is not just a practice. Please understand, advocacy is lot. So when I say advocacy is lot, it means humility. It means it gives you an approach to see a case. It gives you an approach to deal with the clients, which is not there when you freshly graduate as a judge and that client interaction, those emotions that you travel with, the collection of evidence, be it electronic, be it any other way, all these you witness very closely when you are an advocate. So एक तरीके से ये हो गया कि if you want a good pizza, you should know how to bake the base. The topping would not just do. So you might just graduate as the one who can do a very good topping, but you don't know how to make a base. आपको आटा लगाना आता नहीं, आप रोटी कैसे सेकोगे? वो वाली बात नहीं साहब, हम रोटी तो सेक सकते हैं because I have got a roti maker. So I have got AI, I have got the support, I have got the training, I'm a very good judge. Fine. Then you become a machine. So that is what is not the intention of our seniors right now. What Justice Chandrachud or Justice Gavai they're implementing in us, or right now Justice Keth is doing in MP. They're taking care of the human values as well. They're moving along with society. They're giving a vision to the society. When you mention society, then you need to be a part of it and then come out of it. So yes, apprenticeship is required. But yes, and there are certain people who might just have to bear the cost of it, certain. But that fraction has to do away with in order for the larger good.
Right, sir. I absolutely hear you. So, sir, sometimes what happens is there are some states that waive off or modify the rule of mandatory practice. So, according to you, what explains this divergence and which?
So then again, Priyanka, so Madhya Pradesh, we'll start with Madhya Pradesh because I know it has a 3-year practice system which has been recently upheld in one of the cases, but it has a hybrid model, or 70%, that's what prescribed. Whereas Telangana and Kerala, they have retained it. So these are the states which have highest percentage of literacy, but still they have retained. What could be the reason? Maybe literacy is the reason because they know that we are literate, but the art needs to be taught. I don't know. And there are certain states like Sikkim, Haryana, and Chhattisgarh who are stressing more on the training. For Gujarat and Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, they have contrary views. So there is a lack of national consensus, and the issue is currently sub judice before the Honorable Apex Court. So when the issue is sub judice, we should not deliberate upon it much more. But if we speak of opportunity as far as MP is concerned, I think it's the hybrid model has come up quite well. So yes, and there is a unity in diversity in our country. So there are diverse religions, practices, and the human behavior also varies. How you respond, it varies from society to society. So that's why we are looking up to the Supreme Court in order to strike a uniformity for this system.
Right, sir. So let's talk about it from the perspective of a law graduate who's just come out of college and wishes to be a part of the judiciary. I don't know about various many state judiciaries, but I can talk about Punjab or maybe Haryana. And you can maybe condone the fact कि जब एक बच्चा आता है और शुरुआत करता है अपनी, तो उसका नाम वकालतनामा में आ जाए, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है, और क्लाइंट्स उसको आने दें, ये भी बहुत बड़ी बात है. So point is, for a law graduate, weighing the decision, मैं litigation में जाऊं कि मैं judiciary में जाऊं, how does this particular rule that says for 3 years, not only do you have to do litigation, but your name has to be a part of the wakalatnama, wherein he feels that a client, let alone any other advocate around him, a client will not let it happen. What do you think will be the pitfalls that this particular person or or aspirant needs to watch out for?
The pitfalls.
Yes.
So right now, the uncertainty of it, because there is no uniformity across the nation. So I might be a resident of MP, but I might be studying in Karnataka or at Hyderabad or Bangalore. So the situation there might be different in that state. So career planning, a little complexity would come. कि यार यहाँ तो मैं अभी फर्स्ट डे से ही अर्न करना चालू कर सकता हूँ. The lot of students that got drew towards corporate, the major reason of it was financial independence and better work culture. Now that again has seen its day, and there are a lot of views which have come up, and again there are people who are coming back to their roots for practicing in trial courts, for they're aspiring to be a judicial officers, and they're part of banks and government jobs as well. So yes, when there is uncertainty, then the complexity in planning, it comes up. So the pitfall there is, what do I do? Where do I go for these 3 years? Because even if आप देखो, अगर क्रैक करके कोई व्यक्ति जिसको भोपाल चाहिए उसको जबलपुर मिल जाता है, या एक्स चाहिए उसको वाई मिल जाता है, वो ड्रॉप लेना पसंद नहीं करता आज की डेट. So asking somebody to, withhold a year or come back again और 3 साल बाद वापस आना, उस समय जब उसका इंटरेस्ट ना हो. एंड इंटरेस्ट क्यों नहीं है? Because the lack of infrastructure, the trial courts, the infrastructure is not very good. Sitting arrangement is poor. You go across districts. I have traveled across almost 40 districts for matters with my senior and individually. It is very bad. I'm sitting, it's 40 degrees outside. Right now in my chamber, it's 27. But when I'm in court, it's 45, it's 50 degrees. The heat of the arguments, the pressure of the clients, briefs, plus no, there is a fan, but yeah, it's all open. So these infrastructures, they do not attract a lot of students. And there are a lot of people who come forward कि हमारे बच्चों का नाम वकालतनामे में लिख दीजिएगा, 3 साल हमें शो करना है. So a lot of loopholes are also there, which are, so just putting a name in the wakalatnama is not serving the purpose. Please understand, again I'm coming back to the same point. It is a blessing which you need to work upon. ये वो तप है जो आपको सोना बनाता है. Not because you're sweating out, but because you are developing behavioral aspects of developing patience, humility, being a good researcher, doing everything that is possible. आप तलवाने भी भर रहे हो, आप समन्स भी भर रहे हो, आप कोर्ट में जाके एप्लीकेशन भी फाइल कर रहे हो, आप डिफरेंट कोर्ट्स में भी जा रहे हो, यू गेटिंग द रिस्पॉन्सेज, यू सीइंग दैट हाउ आर प्लीडिंग्स टेकिंग प्लेस, हाउ इज एविडेंस टेकिंग प्लेस. सो दैट moot that we do in our moot simulations that we do, the trial simulations that we are doing, why are we doing them in colleges? And preparation of it, Priyanka, you understand, Chinmay, you understand, it takes months. For any international moot or national moot, it almost takes up an entire semester or trimester. And we have to catch up on the subjects also. So instead of these simulations, I still prefer that internship should be promoted more. The performance. So if you're coming for a 1-month internship to a trial office, it's not sufficient. It's not at all sufficient. In order to see अगर 1 महीने में एक केस खत्म हो रहा है, तो आप पूरा सर्कल देख भी पा रहे. तो एक रीजनेबल टाइम तो किसी व्यक्ति को सही है कि वो पूरा एक केस कैसे ट्रैवल करता है वो देखें. Once a person witnesses, all his senses are involved in that, then only he can anticipate things and judge it. The exceptions are always there. I'm not talking about somebody who's extraordinarily brilliant. I'm talking about uniformity. I'm talking about the nation, larger interest of the nation. Now why my office has seen around 1,200 plus interns till now. The time I came in practice, the first thing I did was I started internships in my office, because our seniors were not very accustomed to these. There were people who were coming, but it was not a formal process. We are paying our interns, we're taking care of them, we are training them, and we are preparing them for future. 300 plus associates have seen this office, have been trained in this office. 1,200 plus interns have gone through this office. So the diversity that I have seen, the quality of legal education, yes, I would see has gone down compared to our ancestors. हम 1960s के और 70s के बालाघाट के या कहीं के जजमेंट्स पढ़ते हैं. They were in English. They were precise, concise, and to the point. Now you see the judgments, they run across thousands of pages. So irrespective of the issue. So this is where all these trainings in language, what is relevant, what is not relevant, what is important to be written, what is not important to be written. All these things you see, you realize only when you practice something. So I would suggest that the time has come when this rule actually requires some implementation. But there has to be a uniform manner in which it should be implemented, and taking care of the students, the interests of the students. So there are many students who need to be supported, who need support because they do not have family support right after graduation, and they still want to be a judicial officer. But since trial advocacy doesn't pay you much at the very beginning, so that's why the Bar Council has stepped in. They have issued a guideline that at least the freshers, they need to be paid. They should be paid. Stipend देना चाहिए उनको. But stipend देने में किसी को problem नहीं है. Stipend का it should not be demanded. It should come as a sense of respect, something that you want. I see certain applications that come to me. सबसे पहला लिखा था what is the stipend. मैं उसके बाद वहीं उसको रिजेक्ट कर देता हूँ कि ठीक है भाई. Focus has to be in learning. Focus has to be on the learning part. You learn, you practice, you learn, and then you earn throughout your life. So this is how advocacy gives you back. It's just a noble profession, I think.
So I have a question with respect to this only. So when we talk about practice, minimum years of practice. So when I was watching the live hearing on Supreme Court on 28th of January, Honorable Justice B.R. Gawai had one question in his mind कि जब हम practice के बारे में बात करते हैं तो we don't have any calculus to calculate effective practice क्या होगी, क्योंकि many a time it happens कि जब बच्चा मतलब ग्रेजुएट होता है, his father might be having a very good standing at the bar. So this might help him to get all the वकालतनामा signed, might be उसके नाम पे order sheet भी हो सकती है, but he's not that equipped with the courtroom ecosystem, the laws. तो इसके रिस्पेक्ट में आपका क्या थॉट है कि इफेक्टिव प्रैक्टिस कैलकुलेट करने का क्या तरीका होना चाहिए?
Very good question, bhai. Very good question. And this is practically what is happening. Now, when I came in practice, I lost my brother suddenly and I was just taken aback. He was my guide, he was my guru and everything. And I just felt that, oh my God, I'm under such a big tree. How would I grow? A lot of pressure. So I started alternate practice. So I started my career in environment. I practiced on the environment side pro bono for the state, then private. In between, I started doing narcotics. I gained expertise in IT, information technology. Then it was mediation, arbitration. Now I'm doing revenue. So I have carved my niche. It is. So when you say that you are under a big umbrella, there are many things which come to you naturally. Yes, the client, it comes to you naturally. एंड वकालतनामा वो तो ठीक है, वो तो साइन हो ही जाते हैं बाय डिफॉल्ट। आपका नाम हुआ रजिस्ट्रेशन, आपका नाम आ जाता है। मेरे भी हो रहे थे, ऐसा नहीं है। इनफैक्ट आई डिड नॉट रियलाइज व्हेन डिड आई गॉट रजिस्टर्ड विद द बार। सो वन फाइन डे आई केम टू द ऑफिस एंड वो सामने एक रजिस्ट्रेशन लटका हुआ है। टिल दैट टाइम आई डिड नॉट डेवलप द सीरियसनेस टुवर्ड्स प्रैक्टिस, बट व्हेन आई ट्रैवल्ड अक्रॉस द स्टेट, मे बी फॉर एनी अदर पर्पस, एज अ जूनियर, as with senior, for elections, otherwise, I still felt that we can make the society a better place to live. And the role, तो effective practice की बहुत सारे dimensions हैं आज की डेट में। सिविल राइट्स से जनता को अवगत कराना, सिविल राइट्स, ईजमेंट राइट्स, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट्स, ये बहुत सारे राइट्स हैं जो डे टू डे में। तो इफेक्टिव प्रैक्टिस क्या है? इफेक्टिव प्रैक्टिस है कि आपको यू हैव टू टच द लार्जर बेस ऑफ द सोसाइटी, एंड वट एवर क्लाइंट कम्स टू यू, यू डील विद द केस विद अटमोस्ट इंटेग्रिटी एंड ऑनेस्टी। तो इफेक्टिव प्रैक्टिस के बहुत सारे वो भी हैं। अब आपने जो पॉइंट आउट किया वो एक मिसयूज हो रहा है, एंड that's why I said it's a good question. But then again, we have to look at the uniformity. So, yeah.
You're asking something. I
thought somebody was asking something.
No worries. So what I wanted to ask you was, sir, Vivek sir,
Vivek.
तो हमने काफी सारे petitions देखे हैं that are challenging or seeking the clarification of this particular requirement of 3 years practice, right? So, could you please highlight any kind of landmark decisions or pending cases जिसके कारण ये rule shape या reshape हो सके?
So, I think there's a case in which the Madhya Pradesh High Court's judgment was challenged. It was Varsha versus State, or ma'am? Garima Khare. Garima Khare is the name of the case, I think. So I still, I said this issue is sub judice before the Honorable Supreme Court. Madhya Pradesh has come up with a very good hybrid model, and उसमें आपकी independence भी secured हो गई, और आपका inclination towards subjective part भी बढ़ गया। When they require an eligibility of 70%, तो आपका जो inclination ये था कि 5 साल बाद एक टेस्ट देंगे हो जाएगा, उस पर फोकस करेंगे हो जाएगा, नहीं। अब राइट फ्रॉम द सेकेंड ईयर आदमी में क्लैरिटी है कि मुझे ये करना है। तो दैट रूल हैज ब्रॉट इन अ फोकस इन द स्टूडेंट्स, क्लैरिटी इन द स्टूडेंट्स दैट आई हैव टॉक्ड टू राइट फ्रॉम द सेकेंड ईयर। इनिशियली दिस क्लैरिटी कम्स इन द लेटर ईयर्स कि आप इंटर्नशिप्स कर लेते हो एंड देन यू रियलाइज कि दिस इज नॉट योर फोर्टे, दिस इज नॉट योर फोर्टे, एंड दिस इज माय फोर्टे। Now, when you go towards corporate or when you go towards judiciary, what attracts you? What is the first part? It's the independence and the power. So when you're working as a corporate, you get a handsome salary, you have your own apartment, you're living independently in a corporate city or a metro city. You're exposed to a good life. You're exposed to a lot of matters. You're exposed to a good team at the same floor. But still, it extracts a lot of life out of you. So same way, judiciary, it gives you independence, it gives you recognition, it gives you power. Society में corporate lawyers का recognition versus society में recognition of a judge. Obviously, you hold a judge at a very high pedestal. So, I mean, when you ask about this case, I think Supreme Court has affirmed in that case, the Garima's case, the view adopted by Madhya Pradesh High Court. And I think it's a good decision. If you might, any other, that the analogy that has been drawn in that, it has tried to strike a balance. So even if you are practicing good enough, if you're not, so it gives you two chances, basically. अगर 70% नहीं achieve हुआ, तो then you have another 3 years to come back. अगर 70% achieve हो गया, तो अब well and good. So दोनों की opportunity बची हैं अभी, यहाँ किसी की opportunity खत्म नहीं हुई है यहाँ पे. So it's just the way how you see things.
सर इसमें भी एक इशू ये है, like I'm also a graduate of National University.
Yeah, I was told.
A lot of students, like in at least in NLUs, it is quite tough to score good percentage in colleges. Like the repeats and backs are quite often, and many a times it happens. A lot of students are involved in moot court competition and other co-curricular activities, due to which they could not pay heed to the academics that much, but they're well versed with the law. So same thing with traditional universities as well. Like in Bhopal itself, we have Barkatullah University, जहाँ पे भी 70% एक बहुत बड़ा स्कोर हो जाता है, जो इजिली बच्चे स्कोर नहीं कर पाते. तो लाइक व्हाट डू यू फील कि ये जो ऑलरेडी डिसाइड हो चुका है मैटर, बट ये जो 70% का कैप है, इफ अ स्टूडेंट कम्स फ्रॉम बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी, तो वहां पे तो फेल होना काफी ज्यादा आसान है वनस्पत पास होने के. एंड सेम चीज इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी में स्टूडेंट्स के साथ होती है. तो व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दिस हाइब्रिड मॉडल? ओके, आई अंडरस्टैंड कि आपका कहना है ये हाइब्रिड मॉडल एक बहुत अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी दे रहा है, बट एट द सेम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम ये हाइब्रिड मॉडल में जो कैप है 70% का, तो इज दिस समथिंग व्हिच कैन बी चेंज्ड फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द फ्रेश लॉ ग्रेजुएट्स?
Obviously, nothing. तो देख लो क्या होता है, जब बार सेट होता है ना, वो हमेशा हायर साइड पे ही होता है.
हाँ सर.
तो उसकी कॉस्ट इनिशियली सबको बेयर करना पड़ती है, एक जनरेशन को बेयर करना पड़ती है. जब आप 80s के जजमेंट जाओगे तो यू विल फाइंड डकैती, मर्डर, ये बड़े मुकदमे होते थे. और आप 90s में आओगे तो फिर आप यू सी द ऑफेंसेस नेचर हैज चेंज्ड. 2002 से 2010 you will see the scams and maybe the 2G scam.
Yeah, 2G scam.
Yeah, the Sanjay Chandra case. So every 10 years the shift of the judiciary, the nature of it. Initially the benchmark जो होता है उसका सेट आप देखोगे 10 ईयर का एक पीरियड रहता है जो एक पर्टिकुलर चीजों को सेट करने में लगता ही है मिनिमम, आई फील. सो राइट of females, for example, or right now information technology, the cases जिसमें for example अपने setting up of these tribunals that has come up. तो initial आप देखते हो interpretation में various stages have to पार करना पड़ती हैं. आप एक व्यू है ट्राइब्यूनल का, विच इज कमिंग अप फ्रॉम द बैकड्रॉप ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट केसेस. फिर एक नया व्यू आता है विच इज मे बी अ डिफरेंट व्यू फ्रॉम ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट. सो 70% कैप, I don't know, maybe because I'm also a 70% guy, so I did not have, I had this clarity. I'm not going in judiciary right after graduation. So but for people, then again I'll come back to the same thing. जिसको क्लैरिटी आ जाती है वो फिर उसी कैप के पीछे ही दौड़ता है. वो फिर सब्जेक्ट पे नॉलेज पे ध्यान देता है, वो मूड्स पे ध्यान नहीं देता है, वो आर्टिकलशिप पे ध्यान नहीं देता है, वो इंटर्नशिप पे ध्यान नहीं देता है. उसका फोकस फिर सब्जेक्टिव नॉलेज पे रहता है. व्हाट आई वांटेड टू से इज, आपने इनिशियल जो पूछा था क्वेश्चन कि there are brilliant students जिनका एक opportunity कट हो रहा है because of the 3 year. प्रियंका asked it. तो opportunity तो कट हुई नहीं ना. If you are brilliant, there is an opportunity for you. If you are lacking somewhere or you wanted to experience everything, कि आपने corporate में internship कर ली, lit में कर ली, आपने बैंक्स में कर लिया, आपने दूसरी जगह काम कर लिया, and then you decided, no, I want to go to judiciary. So then you have 3 years to set yourself for that. किसी चीज का मूड बोर्ड बनाया जाता है कि नहीं बनाया जाता है? आज की डेट में आप देखो, यू गो फॉर एनी डेवलपमेंट ऑफ अ प्रॉपर्टी, यू सिट विथ एनी इंटीरियर डेकोरेटर, वो एक मूड बोर्ड सेट करता है. तो जो द वे ऑफ परसेप्शन हैज चेंज्ड. इफ यू वांट योरसेल्फ टू बी अ जुडिशियल ऑफिसर, यू हैव टू, आपको उस तरीके से अपने आप को ढालना पड़ेगा. देयर हैज टू बी अ डिसिप्लिन इन यू, there has to be a humility in you. Education is one part. Education is just 1/10 part, maybe I would say, not the major part. ये ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने पढ़ा, आप बहुत मेरिटोरियस हो और आपने स्कोर कर लिया, नाउ यू आर फिट एनफ टू डू जस्टिस. तो मैं वही बोल रहा था आपसे, this cycle, when you travel it throughout, अगर किसी को सेकेंड ईयर में क्लैरिटी आ गई, फर्स्ट ईयर में क्लैरिटी है कि मुझे जुडिशरी में ही जाना है, तो फिर उसका ओरिएंटेशन उसी तरीके से रहेगा. वो उसकी इंटर्नशिप्स भी आप देखोगे तो कोर्स ओरिएंटेड रहेंगी, वो क्लर्कशिप करेगा, वो जजमेंट राइटिंग पे फोकस करेगा, वो लैंग्वेज पे फोकस करेगा कि मुझे 2 लैंग्वेजेस तो आनी चाहिए. अगर मैं महाराष्ट्र में जा रहा हूँ तो मराठी आना चाहिए, मैं कहीं और कर्नाटक जा रहा हूँ तो दूसरी आना चाहिए, मैं मध्य प्रदेश आ रहा हूँ तो हिंदी और इंग्लिश आना चाहिए. तो ओरिएंटेशन सेट नहीं करोगे तो आप अपने आप को डिजर्विंग कैसे बनाओगे? मैं वही कह रहा हूँ, डू नॉट लिमिट दिस, एंड दिस इज व्हाट यू शुड टीच योर स्टूडेंट्स एज वेल, कि you should not limit yourself to a 3 months preparation or a 1 year preparation. एक vocation which you have to carry out throughout your life is a ever evolving vocation. When it is ever evolving, तो आपको उसके प्रिपरेशन में अगर 2-3 साल देना पड़ गए, जिसके बेसिस पे आपको 30 साल आगे निकालना है, it's not much of a task. When I started practicing, I did not charge my clients for initial 5, 6, 7 years. वो कॉन्फिडेंस आने में टाइम लगा, और अब मुझे कुछ बोलना नहीं पड़ता है, क्लाइंटेल अपने आप आते हैं, क्लाइंट्स अपने आप आते हैं, एंड मोर देन आई कैन एक्सपेक्ट वो फी पे करके जाते हैं. बिकॉज ये जो आपने तपस्या या डिसिप्लिन लीड किया है, उस समय एक ही सेट लाइफ थी. सुबह 7:30 7:38 आई वॉज इन माई ऑफिस एवरी डे. अब मैं 1 बजे भी आ जाता हूँ कई बार. आई कैन टेक दैट लिबर्टी कि मैं जबलपुर से लौट के आया, दिल्ली से लौट के आया, तो मैं 1 बजे कोर्ट आ रहा हूँ, 2 बजे आ, चल जाता है. इनिशियल डेज में बिल्कुल नहीं चलता था. आई वॉज इन माई ऑफिस बिफोर माई सीनियर, आई वॉज इन माई ऑफिस इवन आफ्टर ही लीव्स. एंड टुडे माई ऑफिस has a staff of around 10 to 15 with majority of females, at least 10 of them, and everybody works till 11 in the night. So it is a discipline that is being taught. Anywhere they go, they will be successful. So we have to teach a lifestyle, we have to teach a way of perception. Rest all फिर क्या होगा? देखो, no case is identical. हमेशा अपने को सिखाया जाता है ये चीज, no case is identical, it might be similar. Facts, every case differs in the facts. So this is the same thing applies to us also. So all of them who are listening to us, कहीं भी डिसअपॉइंट होने की इतनी सी भी बात नहीं है. एक जगह अपॉर्चुनिटी आपको लग रहा है कि थोड़ी सी कॉम्प्रोमाइज हुई है, दूसरी जगह अपॉर्चुनिटी खुल गई. कोई मेरिटोरियस है, उसका पहले दिन से क्लैरिटी है, उसने ऑलरेडी कॉलेज में अपने 3 साल जुडिशियल प्रिपरेशन में दे दिए, अपने आप को वैसा ढाल लिया है, तो उसके लिए भाई तुम वेरी फर्स्ट डे यू कैन गो. दूसरे लोग जिनको क्लैरिटी नहीं है, गुड इनफ, इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. You come in the age of 22, you come in the age of 25, you come in the age of 30 till 35, no issues. That's why वो upper cap दिया 35. So as long as it takes for you to gain that clarity, and people like us are there to support. Chinmay is there to support. Priyanka is there to guide. So I think
Right, sir. So, just final question. So, I'm from Army Institute of Law, Mohali.
very
If I
good.
talk about myself, I never wanted to do law. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. I wanted to do my IIT, and of course, that was for a very different reason altogether because everyone wanted to do that then. Once I got into law, is when I realized that this is something that works for me. Now, I'm going to talk about people like me who are not from national law universities, who are not particularly always oriented towards law. Now, once they get into that, there are two very, very, or let's say three very, very big things that they get into. One is litigation. And since I'm a woman, I'll talk about it that way. If I don't have anything or anybody from my place or my family who's into litigation, that wouldn't be my first step, right? The second step would be either a law firm, and that's purely because of and from the point of sounding like somebody who's an absolute lover of serials. I would do that for Suits, and let me tell you, it's that bad. Like everyone thinks like that, right? So Harvey Specter and Mike Ross, and that's what they think the law firms are, and that's why they want to go into these law firms. And I'm not taking away from the law firms; they give a lot of money. It's a great life. Let's talk about a child who is like me, who gets out of law school, who gets into let's say Amarchand Mangaldas, J. Sagar Associates, Trilegal. After that, wants to be a judge. His or her work experience, where they have really worked very hard, will that get counted in that 3 years? And if it doesn't, is it good? Is it bad? Because that child wasn't really very, very aware of the fact that the child didn't want to be a judge then, wants to be a judge later. The fact that the Delhi Judiciary in 1997 says that we have to get away with the 3 year practice law only because of the fact that they did not get any fresh talent. Don't we have to keep that in mind? And shouldn't we give a chance to these kids who are anyway going to get some kind of a practice experience later on? And that's what the kids are thinking about right now. Forget everyone else. What if someone as belligerent as me understands at the age of maybe 33 that I want to be a judge? I haven't got any experience. I worked in a law firm, maybe the best in the country. And now I can't. Only owing to the fact that this is the practice rule that has come up. Isn't that a little bit inconvenient for them?
No. Then again, initially you said by yourself, it's your admission that because of the 3 year rule, lot of people are not getting an opportunity. So you have pursued a vocation right from the start, from 21 or 22 to 33. You had a good run of 10, 12 years, and now you again want to come back to curtail the rights of those freshers who really wanted to get into judiciary, and you will have an edge. Why? Because you're financially stable. You've groomed over yourself as a corporate. You've groomed yourself in the language part. You've learned a discipline. Maybe you're coming from army. Very good. भाई local colleges तो यहाँ पे हैं, districts में हैं. उनको opportunity कौन देगा? उनको train कौन करेगा? Just because they were not in army law, where discipline runs throughout the fabric, or maybe they could not get into a tier A firm. I would not name anybody, but I am not less than any tier A firm. When you come and see the way we compete and we stand for our clients, there are certain times when the pioneers of the system, they ask and come to us for consultations. But we are not going into judiciary. But kal mera man kare nahi yaar mujhe jana hai, then I'm cutting. So it's your admission which is cutting the interest of others. So it's a 15 years time or 10 years time, so good amount of time for you to realize where you want to go. कायदे से तो आपको बहुत पहले रियलाइज हो जाता है. इट्स जस्ट दैट यू ट्रायल एंड एरर जो प्रैक्टिस होती है ना, कि आपने यहाँ हाथ मार लिया, यहाँ समझ में नहीं आया, वहाँ हाथ मार लिया, वहाँ समझ में नहीं आया, यहाँ हाथ मार लिया, वहाँ समझ में नहीं आया. So somebody who is working in a tier A firm, obviously for him to sit at one place and adjudicate matters, who was purely into corporate, earning a salary of maybe whatsoever, a package of 50 plus and something. You're not getting it here. Not getting it here. उसके लिए ये चीज नहीं बनी है. The judiciary is there to serve the society. Law is there for you to give you an introduction कि what is the scenario. भाई आपको एक चीज पता होगी प्रियंका, सबको पता है किसी को चाकू मारोगे तो सजा होगी. लॉयर क्या बताता है कि चाकू मारोगे और इतना नुकसान हो गया, इतना नुकसान हो गया तो आपको 307 बनेगी, मर गया तो 302 बनेगी, 302 में 20 साल की सजा है, 307 में इतनी सजा है. दैट इज द वर्क ऑफ अ लॉयर. बट एवरीबडी नोज कि चाकू मारेंगे तो वो लॉ का वायलेशन होगा. तो एक लॉ स्टूडेंट को पता है कि अगर मैं कॉर्पोरेट में एंटर कर रहा हूँ और उसको 10-15 साल तक परस्यू कर रहा हूँ, कमिंग बैक वुड बी डिफिकल्ट. कमिंग बैक वुड बी डिफिकल्ट. बट उसके लिए डोर्स क्लोज नहीं हुए. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट्स who have now started their own law firms and now come back to court. They've now come back to court and they started to practice because they did not like the pressure, maybe the timelines, maybe the working style, maybe, or they loved the lifestyle, the feel that you get on the dais when you stand and argue for a client, the adrenaline push that you get, you know. तो ये सब चीजें रियलाइज करने के लिए 12-15 साल नहीं लगते. फिर हैंडफुल ऑफ पीपल के लिए you carving out exceptions to take down this rule. Chinmay ka and your orientation is like because you are speaking for the a major chunk of the students, you know, आपकी ओपिनियन कहाँ से आ रही है? उन लोगों के एक्सपीरियंसेस, उन लोगों की फीलिंग्स से जो उसको चैलेंज कर रहे हैं. बट मैं वही कह रहा हूँ, किसी चीज को चैलेंज करने से पहले उसको जीना जरूरी है. You have to live it to challenge it. You argue you in order to abolish it, you have to make yourself much more deserving and better. Please understand, एक बार तो इसको हटा दिया ना अपन, it has come back again. जे 89 से हटाई है ना, अब वापस आया है 30-35 साल बाद. तो मे बी समवेयर उसकी नीड फील हो रही है हमारे सीनियर्स को कि यार क्वालिटी इज गेटिंग हिट समवेयर. दैट्स व्हाई द लॉ मेकर्स हैव ब्रॉट इट बैक. द जुडिशरी इज अपहोल्डिंग. जो हमारे इतने बड़े स्तंभ हैं जिनकी ऑरा में आते ही हम लोग इतने एकदम डिसिप्लिन हो जाते हैं, वो लोग बोल रहे हैं कि इसकी नीड है. जो प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है वो भी बोल रहा है कि समवेयर यार नीड है. तो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, who is there in the system is saying yes, there's a need. अब डिबेट तो हर चीज का होगा ही ना. मुझे कोई बोल दे आज की आपको कुर्सी बैठ के 7 घंटे जजमेंट लिखना है, मैं तो नहीं कर पाऊँ. इट्स अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टास्क. यू हैव टू ट्रेन योरसेल्फ फॉर इट. आई लव द फ्रीडम दैट आई हैव राइट नाउ. मैं एक दिन जबलपुर हूँ, एक दिन दिल्ली हूँ, एक दिन भोपाल हूँ, एक दिन बॉम्बे हूँ, एंड आई लव इट. यू नो, टेकिंग CLA to different places is my passion. And that's why I'm just, everybody is on the same floor with me right now. And everybody is listening and they are in sync with me when I say this. And if there is anybody, जैसे कोई आता है कि सर हम जुडिशरी की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, तो हम उसको भी बोलते हैं मोस्ट वेलकम, प्लीज सिट एंड डू. उनको डिस्पोज्ड फाइल्स देते हैं पढ़ने के लिए कि आप पढ़ो. एंड व्हाट वुड योर व्यू वुड बी, अगर सारा एविडेंस देखने के बाद आपका क्या व्यू रहेगा, वैसा जजमेंट लिख के लाओ, हिंदी में भी इंग्लिश में भी. तो दैट्स आवर वे ऑफ कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिंग. एंड इस ऑफिस से भी बहुत से जजेस निकले. सो वी आर हैप्पी टू से दैट वी हैव बीन contributing positively. So right now the positive contribution would not be to waste energy in fighting it, but to bring alternatives. चिन्मय ने बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट रेस किया सर. वो 70 उसने 3-4 बार बोल दिया, 70 सबके दिमाग में घूम रहा है. 70 ज्यादा है, ऑब्वियसली ज्यादा है, क्योंकि इस प्रोफेशन में मार्क्स पे कभी फोकस रहता ही नहीं था. मार्किंग सिस्टम पे फोकस कभी नहीं था पहले जितना. और जितने भी आप देखोगे, माय सीनियर वुड नॉट बी अ गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट, but he is an ace litigator. Ace. Nothing better than him till now. मतलब क्योंकि रिजल्ट उन्होंने 100% दिए. जो मेरे सीनियर्स रहे हैं, जो गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट रहे हैं, कोई बैंक में काम कर रहा है सरप्राइजिंगली, कोई किसी कॉर्पोरेट में काम कर रहा है, some are there in the some other business. तो linking it with the merits, एक डिबेट कहता है कि नहीं सही नहीं है. और जो अच्छे लिटिगेटर्स हैं, जो आज के प्रोमिनेंट नाम है कंट्री के, you will not find them coming from a very good college or nationalite, you know, कि XYZ कोई भी नाम उठा हुआ कि वो हार्वर्ड से पढ़ के आया है, कि वो NLIU से पढ़ के आया है. नहीं, कुछ नहीं है ऐसा. करत करत अभ्यास. Practice makes a man perfect. Every time you read, every time you find a different interpretation. The more you read into the barracks, you find a different interpretation. And that is what Judiciary Gold should stress upon. You read, interpret in a manner which serves the purpose of the society, or it brings a harmonious construction, or you have to learn that art to develop the IQ. And at the same time, when you practice, you develop your EQ. Empathize, sympathize, learn. Empathize, sympathize, learn, earn, practice. Empathize, sympathize, learn, earn, practice, 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 and then earn. So if you climb that way, it's nice. So you see stock markets, they went amazing after COVID, right? A lot of new investors came in, they put in all their savings, and suddenly in these past 6 months, everybody's washed out. That was shortcut. स्टॉक में डाल दो, पैसा कमाएंगे. स्टॉक में डाल दो, पैसा है. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. अगर किसी का फंडामेंटल स्ट्रांग है तो वो इस टाइड को भी झेल जाएगा और आपको 12 महीने बाद वो सेक्टर अच्छा रिवॉर्ड देगा. तो फोकस शुड बी ऑन फंडामेंटल्स. फोकस शुड नॉट ऑन दैट कि 3 साल का रूल आ गया सर, अब क्या होगा. ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, 3 साल बाद अप्लाई कर लेंगे भाई, 3 साल प्रैक्टिस कर लेंगे. नथिंग टू वरी. अभी आप एक क्रैश कोर्स कर लो, 3 साल अच्छी जगह प्रैक्टिस करो. यू डोंट नो, you might just love practice and continue to practice, or you might get any other opportunity. So, it's not something to dishearten, but it's just giving you ample of opportunities to look at other sites which you forgot to look before. जिसका 2 सेकेंड ईयर से मन था कि मुझे जुडिशरी क्रैक करना है, 70% नहीं आया है, वो डिसहार्टन ना हो. ये सोचे कि oh my God, I've got another. Now there is a bouquet of opportunities available to me. ऐसे देखो, वो 3 साल है मेरे पास, that's a huge time. What should I do? I should go and practice in Delhi High Court. I should go and practice in Jabalpur High Court. I should go and practice in Datia, Shadol, in my hometown. Let's contribute to the society for 3 years. मैंने ये किया. How I started, मेरे दिमाग में बिजनेस था. When I came out of NLIU, I wanted to get into real estate. Total real estate. I had a lot of contacts in the city. My father did not support me financially because he saw me as a lawyer, and I thank him for that. आज मैं उनको thank you बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि अब मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है, but law matters, law. It's going on with me 24/7 through. And I love this life. My eyes sparkle when I stand before a dais and argue on it. I just love that. COVID actually brought a lot of depression in us because we were not very active, but I still went to the court every day in COVID. छोटी सी एप्लीकेशन भी खुद हैंड रिटन फाइल करता हूँ. 250 रुपए भी मिले तो भी लेता था, 1000 रुपए मिले तो भी लेता था. काम नहीं रोका मैंने कोविड में. सो यू शुड, जुडिशरी गोल्ड जैसे इंस्टीट्यूशन आज की डेट में मध्य प्रदेश में नहीं. Where young birds like Chinmay and Priyanka, who are oriented and who are successful in their own spheres. 2 बार जुडिशरी क्रैक करना is not an easy task. मैं तो एग्जाम से ही फीवर आ जाता था मुझे तो. I could not change the denim I would wear for the entire 6 days due to examination fear. तो heads off to Chinmay कि इतना बड़ा टास्क कर लिए. सैल्यूट टू हिम. एंड
थैंक यू सर.
जैसे इंस्टीट्यूट से बाहर आके उसको स्टार्ट टू लव द you're not you. I think Priyanka is the first generation.
Sir,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So it comes from the aura that you are a first generation. But यही इसकी ब्यूटी भी है कि you are not biased. You are learning and you are evolving. And then you are imparting. So जो जितने फर्स्ट जनरेशन है उनको तुमसे कनेक्ट करने में काफी इजी होगा रादर देन कनेक्टिंग मी, क्योंकि मैं ऑलरेडी 1000 के पेस पे चल रहा हूँ. माई माइंड इज वर्किंग एट अ पेस ऑफ 1000 राइट नाउ. यू आर राइट नाउ एट.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So,
So-
sir, what I'd like to ask you, and thank you so much for your valuable opinion. According to you, what would you propose to be a very robust and foolproof plan for any kind of a judiciary aspirant in terms of the kind of practice or the kind of experience that the child should have?
in this time,
Yes.
in this time of 3 years, you think what should be a good alternative?
No, I'm not asking for an alternative.
Okay, go
Let's
on.
forget about the 3 years.
Okay.
Let's talk about just you and your valuable experience and what you think should be the adequate amount, according to you, of experience that a child should have if the child is aspiring to be a judge today.
I think, but then again, when you want to strike uniformity, you have to set one period. 2190 rule. Something to become a habit, it takes 90 days. Right? I think you must have heard that.
Yeah.
21 days, 90 days. तो ये जो 3 year है, ये कहीं ना कहीं कुछ इसका साइंटिफिक बैकग्राउंड तो होगा. I did not delve much into it, but I am not opposed to it. So for me, for example, when I came into practice, I focused on the environment side. मुझे ये pollution और the way people used to take environment so lightly बहुत bother करता है, आज भी करता है. I filed cases against ये पराली जो जलती है मध्य प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़, राजस्थान में. We've got a ban on that. DJ जो बचते हैं, we've got a ban on that. Upper Lake है, उस पे we filed a petition. So this was my way of contributing it, but it took me 3 years time. It took me 3 years time to set rules for marriage gardens. वो रोड पे बारातें ना निकालें, डीजे ना बजाएं, खुद के उनके फैसिलिटी हो, खाना वेस्ट ना करें, उसको कहीं और. ये इस पूरे प्रोसेस में ये जितने भी प्रो बोनो केसेस मैंने उस समय फाइल किए थे एनवायरनमेंट में, फिर आईटी में काम किया या फिर इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी में या फिर रेवेन्यू में किया, नार्कोटिक्स में किया, फिर इकोनॉमिक ऑफेंसेस में किया. तो मैं तो कहूँगा यार, मुझे तो आई एम स्टिल लर्निंग. एक आध पार्ट ऐसा भी है कि मे बी इफ यू से बैंकिंग लॉज, आई एम स्टिल लर्निंग, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. सो देयर इज नो, for a lawyer, no time period. Today also, Chinmay, if you come, it's a day of a holiday. My senior is sitting making handwritten notes of 12 journals. जितने बड़े बड़े बही खाते हो गए ना, इतने बड़े बड़े रजिस्टर्स में वो हैंड रिटन नोट्स बनाते. 72 से आज तक बना रहे. मैं नहीं बना पाता. वो नोट्स इसलिए बनाते हैं, किस लिए बनाते हैं? He knows it best. He wants to be well abreast with the latest views of the courts. Plus, he knew he reads everything. In the background, if you see, it's a 1/10th part of the library. ये पूरी लाइब्रेरी की एक एक बुक का एक एक पन्ना उन्होंने पढ़ा है. तो 3 साल तो उनके लिए कुछ है ही नहीं. He has given 52 years in this profession and still he's reading. तो मैं वही बोला था, in order to, अगर कोई आदमी 25 की एज में जुडिशरी में आता है, 26 में आता है, 27 में आता है, 28 में आता है, 30 में भी आता है, तो भी उसके पास 30 साल नहीं है. 30 साल के काम के लिए 3 साल की प्रिपरेशन कुछ भी मायने नहीं रखती है अभी। 300 टका मिल रहा है ना आपको, 100 टका मिल रहा है आपको। तो आप तो उस तरीके से देखो, 3 years of investment is giving you 30 years of good life। क्योंकि वन, आपके हाथ में क्या है ये तो देखिए ना। सच अ ह्यूज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, सच अ ह्यूज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। Do not realize it might just ruin lives of people for years. One judgment here and there. In a lot of cases, they're coming to me, जो जेल में लोग बंद हैं सालों से, and कुछ उनके destitute में, people are in destitute, they come to me. I read the judgment, I realize what has happened. This is a disaster, and nobody is there to plead for them. और वो बस किसी अब मैं फ्रेशर वर्ड नहीं बोलूंगा उसमें, किसी के हत्थे चढ़ गए। तो वही चीज हमारे सीनियर्स के दिमाग में है कि अपील पे जो लोड बढ़ता जा रहा है वो ना बढ़े। फर्स्ट स्टेज ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशन पे ही एक व्यक्ति को न्याय मिल जाए, अच्छा न्याय मिल जाए, सुलभ न्याय मिल जाए, ताकि उसकी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ बेटर हो सके। स्किल इंडिया प्रोग्राम से कितना फायदा हो रहा है आज। जो प्लम्बर्स आज हमारे घर में आते हैं, इलेक्ट्रिशियन आते हैं, एक बार काम करके जाते हैं, 6 महीने चिंता मुक्त हो जाते हैं। पहले आते थे काम करने, हर 15 दिन में आ जाते थे। दे वर लाइक अ फैमिली मेंबर। ये तो आप देख रहे हो ना, चेंजेस देख रहे हो ना।
हाँ।
तो वही है ये, यू हैव टू सी व्हाट इज हैपनिंग अराउंड यू टू रियलाइज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग विथ यू, एंड दैट इज व्हाट पीपल शुड थिंक अबाउट।
Absolutely, sir.
लुक अराउंड
Yeah.
एंड यू आर इन अ बेटर पोजीशन।
Thank you so much for your valuable guidance, and I think all of our aspirants would really learn a lot from your practical experience. And like you said, uh, yes, an aspirant should know where they want to go. And in case they don't, at the end of the day, it is not for us to decide what the rule will be. It is for the Honorable Supreme Court. And so us sitting here really are, we are just sitting and telling our aspirants that there is a way forward. There is a logic behind whatever is happening. And
Yes,
that logic is not going against them.
yes,
And whatever be the case, if it's 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, it's going to help them in the long run. And yeah, that's what it is. And and a little bit of practice is not really going to hurt them. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you
थैंक
for
यू
your
सर।
valuable
हमें भी
opinion.
सीखने को मिलेगा।
जी जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you, Chinmay, and thank you everyone who's watching this, and I hope you get to learn a lot from it. And that's it from our end. And thank you very much.
थैंक यू सर।
Thank you so much.